All right, let's talk about Dillon Gabriel of the Cleveland Browns, really the Browns offense in general, having a rough day against the Pittsburgh Steelers, a defense that I think, historically has been great, hasn't necessarily been great this season, but has also played a lot better since that really weird week 1 loss to the Jets. So let's talk about what went wrong in this game. So this was a part of it is, Steelers going to play man coverage. Gabriel's going to take the snap, and there just isn't a lot open. I mean, the reality is the Browns don't have a great receiving core. They just don't. They don't have guys who are consistently getting open. According to Pro Football Focus, they currently have the worst graded receiving core. They also have the worst graded pass blocking unit. So that's not ideal. Fourth worst graded quarterback play as well on top of it. So yeah, not very good there for May. For May. I just recorded a Drake May video. For Gabriel, you see nothing is open. Pocket is collapsing. He's going to end up getting sacked. There was also offensive holding on the play as well. So just a disaster from start to finish for the Cleveland Browns. There definitely was some of that. But again, you can evaluate a quarterback in a bad situation. So let's do that with Gabriel here. So this play, for example, it's 3rd and 10. Like, there absolutely were some missed throws here. Again, you see the route on the screen against man coverage. Certainly one that can potentially work. And this is going to work a lot better than that last play. Watch as when Gabriel takes the snap, you're going to see, down the field, just a bit low on that throw. Had a real opportunity to make the grab. Gabriel just kind of a little bit low. Again, maybe he thought the receiver was going to kind of flatten out that route a little bit earlier. Those are always possible. You get the throw of anticipation. That can happen. No excuse on this one, though, on kind of a broken play. Admittedly, late in the game when it's garbage time, basically. But still, it was a broken play. Judy was wide open past the defense, and Gabriel just kind of misses the throw. Had to throw it off balance. But if he puts that in a catchable spot, that at least, gets you a touchdown, it gets you down 10 with 11 minutes left. Hey, crazier things have happened, right? So you'd have liked to have that one. So there were some missed throws. Although going over here, there were also some good plays from Gabriel. I do not want to make this seem as though this was a complete disaster from start to finish, because I really don't see it that way. There were some good things. You see why the Browns as a whole, like Gabriel, wanted him to be the starter because he can run an offense. This play, 2nd down and 7, have a receiver trying to get into a gap in coverage. Gabriel's going to take the snap. It gets open, able to time that one perfectly. They get the completion. A couple more like that. This one where you're going to see, again, bit of a window, takes a tough hit, but is able to grab on and make the play. This one on a 3rd and 1, off balance, makes a nice catch. They're able to pick up a decent gain there. So there definitely were some positives. To say that this was a complete disaster would be unfair to Gabriel and unfair to the Browns offense. But it was not all positive, and it would not be unfair to say that this was a bad overall game by the Browns. For example, this play, you're going to see that Dillon Gabriel's going to get outside the pocket, makes a perfect throw that was just dropped. This one, I don't know exactly whose fault this was. I showed a couple times. I can't tell if this went through Njoku's hands or if it was, it feels like Njoku could have at least gotten a hand on it, could have ended up intercepted. So I don't know how much blame to put on Gabriel for that. It's just kind of hard to tell. But either way, that's a mistake by the Browns that should have resulted in the ball going the other way. And then this one was funny. You're going to see that it's a touchdown. Nope, it's a ball right off the helmet of the Cleveland Browns wide receiver. So, I mean, again, would that have been a touchdown if he had his head turned around? Maybe, maybe not. But, either way, it certainly wouldn't have been 0 yards. So, yeah, some Cleveland Browns stuff going on. Kind of par for the course, it feels like sometimes with this franchise. While we're on funny plays, like this one was funny as well. It's a man coverage concept. Game situation matters. Browns are out of timeouts with 11 seconds left, so kind of have to work the sideline. This is what they're going to do that. Have their 2 wide receivers run routes, trying to push players further deep, and then have your halfback run underneath. Hopefully you can just gain something, get yourself a little bit closer. Maybe you can get a touchdown, but at the very least, get a little closer. Again, at your opponent's 11-yard line, I'm not exactly sure what the value of getting an extra 5 yards closer is, because maybe you have time for one play towards the end zone. I guess that's the value. Here, though, this is not executed perfectly, and they end up losing a yard on the play. So you ran that kind of concept to just lose a yard, because, again, the Steelers were all over it, just too slow in developing this play, and because of that, you don't, not only do you not get anything, you lose a yard on a play where you're just trying to take what the defense is giving you, and you get negative on it. So not ideal there. But now I want to go over here. So everything I've said so far, you might be sitting here saying, okay, so not a disaster from Gabriel, right? I mean, some missed throws, sure, you're never going to play perfect, but, had some nice throws in there too, and the offense in general was struggling. And that is true, but the one thing that I would say is just a massive negative right now is protecting the football. And he had a couple of instances, I already showed one where I'm not sure if it was his fault, but a couple of instances here that could have been disasters. So this point, you're down 6 points. You see the concept to the offense's left. You have a receiver running a deeper route. Really, it's the corner on that side of the field you have to pay attention to. If the deeper route can push the corner further deep, then towards the sideline it could be open. If it doesn't, a lot of times you want to throw it to the deeper route then. When this play begins, look at this Pittsburgh corner. I mean, he is all over this. Gabriel is not yet in the throwing motion. Remember, left-handed quarterback, so he still has the football right here. It's a tough angle throw going from the hash marks towards the top of the screen all the way towards the bottom of the screen. It's tough, but these are the things you have to notice. See, that corner kind of hesitates. Really, probably would have had a pick if he didn't hesitate on that one. I think, maybe we trying too hard to fool Gabriel. Really had a shot at a pick six, to be honest, which is not ideal. So again, if you're billed as the game manager, a guy who's maybe not going to give you a ton after the play breaks down, but you can at least run the offense, well, you can't turn the ball over. That's kind of the main thing about being a good game manager, is you have to protect the football, and he didn't do it on this play. This next one's a little bit more forgivable just because of game situation. Again, this was after he wasn't able to hit the one I showed you earlier to Jerry Jeudy. Now it's 3rd and goal. It's a 17-point game. You kind of just need to throw one up towards the end zone, and the Steelers are going to be protecting it because it's at the 14-yard line. So one-on-one matchup towards the sideline, that's the best you're going to do. Gabriel takes the snap. He looks in that direction, and you see, is this open? Should you make this throw? Again, I think yes. I think this is the throw you want to make. Give your receiver a chance and see what can happen. I have no issue with this. It is Jerry Jeudy, who's probably their best receiver. But as you see, really, he doesn't throw this one far enough, and because of that, it was nearly picked off at the goal line, which, again, you're down 3 scores, so you don't want to turn the ball over. I think you have to force the issue when those 3 scores are 17 points. With 9 minutes left, you kind of have to force the issue. So I'm going to be more forgiving of that one, but ultimately, the defensive team got their hands on the ball 3 different times in the game, weren't able to come down with any of the picks. So even though you have 0 interceptions on the day, you got to protect the football better. That's just, that's going to get you killed if you can't do that. So ultimately, where do we go from here for Gabriel? Well, the good news is you play the Dolphins, then the Patriots, who've been playing well, but then the Jets. The Ravens defense hasn't been great. The Raiders haven't been great on either side of the ball. So, you do have a much easier stretch. And if you can kind of survive this, you might be able to kind of, get your sea legs under you, hopefully start to play better. There is talk of Shedeur Sanders. And listen, I get it. Because, what is Dillon Gabriel's ceiling? If his best ceiling is being a good game manager, do you want to just see what you have with Sanders? But again, we're not in practice. We can't say for sure. Certainly, Sanders feels like the more exciting option because it feels like, again, he was just the bigger prospect coming into the draft. We want to see him play. I think it's very possible at some point we will see him play. But given the easier, I think, if Gabriel struggles against the Dolphins or against the Jets, then it's maybe time to be a little concerned. But as of right now, not a great game. But, you knew he wasn't going to play perfect. Once you decided to make him the starter, he played better against Minnesota. I still think he's playing better than Flacco was. But yeah, I mean, I think after the first game, this guy's going to play for a bit. Now it is I think it's becoming more and more possible to see Shedeur Sanders come in not without an injury. I think it's becoming more and more possible. But I still think Gabriel played well against the Dolphins. You should be okay. So yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.